This is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here in Los Angeles, California, and this story that I'm about to share with you is utterly insane. It has death threats, bulletproof vests, and of course a huge force that is denying people the basic human rights and denying them of their dignity. This huge government force, of course, is the state. I'm here joined by Elvis, and of course here in Los Angeles you can't ignore the problem of homelessness. This is the home of Skid Row. It's everywhere. You can't ignore it. Elvis saw that problem and he said, you know what, I'm going to create a solution. Tell us what you did, Elvis.
Oh, it's true. It's not a permanent solution, but I decided to build tiny houses to help the homeless. We got over, nobody really knows how many we have, but it's, upwards of 80,000, plus people sleeping in the gutter every night. And nobody gives a crap that, where people are going to go tonight. And so last year I built a house for a woman in my neighborhood, and everything just blew up and exploded since then. I've got 37 houses across the county. The city's come after me and tried to stop me, wasted a lot of our tax dollars. And I've gotten some threats from people down in San Pedro. I had to go up against some gangbangers in South LA because they were robbing this veteran for his military pension every month. And then when he'd have seizures and go to the hospital, they were raping the hell out of his wife. Wow. And I couldn't wait to turn everything around with the houses to be able to give these people their houses back. I had to get them out of there. And between the other threats and those guys may or may not want to shoot me. I've had to wear a vest. LAPD told me I need to wear one. It's a mess.
Oh, this sounds like a mess, but starting off from just the start, you saw this problem with homelessness, and you decided to take it upon yourself just to build these tiny homes that you have right in front of us to give people just basic human rights, just a basic home, because, even though it is California, it is still cold out here. The conditions out here when it comes to being homeless are extremely rough. Can you tell us about this process of just how you kind of started this organization, started this idea, and how it took off?
Yeah, absolutely. Roughly just a little over a year ago, I built a tiny house for a woman named Smokey in my neighborhood. As I built her house, homeless started coming around like, well, what are you doing? I explained it. They asked if I could build them one. Okay, let's try a video. We'll try to get some crowdfunding going, and it just exploded, some viral videos, and took off from there. Yeah. The tiny houses aren't meant to be a permanent solution, but it's a bridge between the gutter and more permanent housing. Permanent housing hasn't even been built yet. It's going to take a long time, and nobody cares about tonight. That's the problem. The tiny houses fix that. It gives people their dignity back, a deadbolt that they can lock, their stuff up in all day, and they can get a good night's rest. And then it'll tie them over while they work on all the problems that they have, get off their, their drug addictions and, resume writing, and look for jobs that they can work on that, and then permanent housing comes along. It's a nice transition all the way up. Yeah. But the government here doesn't, they don't like my idea. They don't even want to listen to the whole idea. They just wanted to shut me down and stop it. They illegally confiscated several houses and forced me to, basically evict people back on the street, women, veterans, children. And yeah, it's just gotten thick since then. Yeah. I sat in the mayor's office, and his last homeless policy director looked me right in the eye, told me they don't give a shit about the homeless. It's not their top priority. Flat out. Wow.
Holy cow. So the government saw these tiny houses, and they said, well, we're just going to steal them. They also destroyed some of them. But what was the whole kind of initiative? What was their reasoning, and what kind of actions did they do when it comes to, these homes popping up and people trying to get back up on their feet?
They spent a lot of time last year trying to make the houses themselves illegal. They couldn't because they're not illegal. And hats off to the genius that thought of it. I still hate you, but why don't we make them illegal in public? And that's how they shut it down. They jumped on it, came and stole a bunch of them, and then I think someone said that's illegal. And so then they went and they changed the ordinances 3 times, specifically for my tiny houses, to block me from being able to put them out and give them to anybody and help them. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
So they also, after they confiscated them, some of them are damaged that you were just telling me about before. They returned them, but why did they return them, and what's kind of the next kind of action from this?
Well, yeah, I mean, they returned them and damaged and things missing. Every house has a small solar panel and a battery pack. All the battery packs were stolen. They didn't return them with them. The wheels were damaged. The frameworks, I've had to fix them up. The only reasons they gave were just bullshit. I mean, all across, they're a health and safety hazard. They were blocking the sidewalk. They were this, they were that, and none of it's true. I'd honestly respect them flat out. I mean, if they got me on something legitimate, even half legitimate, I'd respect them for that. Like, hey, you know what? You're right. That is a problem. But, nothing that they said was true. They didn't block the sidewalks. Tents block the sidewalks more. It's a health and safety hazard to leave people in the gutter, not to put them in a safe, warm, structure.
Yeah, yeah. That's the excuse they use. They're like, we're going to take care of you. We can't let you be hurt, so we're going to take away your homes because it's health and human safety. Like, what are you, like, I don't understand this at all. It makes no freaking sense at all, and it just shows you how incompetent and backwards government is when people come up with a solution. Now, there's also a lot of public space available with the VA. I remember hearing something about that as well. Give us all the aspects of just the kind of legal workarounds that you have to work through to get people in homes.
It's worse than a circus. I mean, there's hoop after hoop after hoop. The system is completely broken. It doesn't work. There's hundreds of acres at the VA that have been sitting there collecting dust, for years. They even sold off a bunch of it, built a stadium and gave, some apartments, sold it to developers. It wasn't their land to give. There's tons of land there. I mean, and this isn't county. This is just city of LA. There are over 7,500 vacant properties collecting dust. Some of them have been collecting dust since the 60s. Like, they could easily step up and help people, but they don't. And it's got to be more than just money because, which I know that's a big part of it, but it's proven in multiple states that housing first model works. If you just give someone a place to live and then the resources to get them back on their feet, it's a third less money that we spend every day to criminalize them, leave them on the streets, put them in hospitals and jails. It's a joke.
And spend all the public money, so-called treating homelessness, not really treating it in any way, shape, or form, but really just escalating the problem when going into and stopping anyone who's trying to create that solution and trying to help people out, because obviously you need to have a home in order to help put yourself back into society. That's the first start, especially with someone who's, down and out. If you want to get back to be able to work, you need a place to go to sleep at night. You need a place to go to put your stuff away, and it just makes no sense at all.
I mean, on that note, it's the first step. It's science. The human mind requires adequate sleep. I mean, anyone listening, how many times you pulled an all-nighter or, crunching for a test or, double shift, and you got 4 hours of sleep or less. Like, your brain, you get a little aggro, your mind doesn't work right. It's just science. You need adequate sleep, and you can't get that in the gutter, in a tent, one eye open, Exactly. You need to get a good night's rest. Once you start there, get a good night's rest, get your mind working properly. Then you can start addressing the other issues.
Yeah. Now, what happened with the death threats? Because you kind of stepped up. You kind of been very public about this. You were able to build these tiny homes. You were able to help a bunch of people. The government took it away. Then you started speaking out on media. Then they gave them back. But what is happening with these death threats, and why are you wearing a bulletproof vest now?
This thing sucks, man. I hate it. I feel for the officers that have to wear this every day. It just, you got city council, and then you got neighborhood city councils, and then you got groups that follow everybody and all this stuff. Well, I inspired and started some houses down in San Pedro where the councilman there absolutely hates me and doesn't like to lose either. We did everything the democratic way, when we started building the houses there. Took it to a vote. Everyone spoke for it, against it. The council voted unanimously in favor of the tiny houses. Well, 2 hours after that, the councilman had his thugs, thug cops come and pull everyone out of the houses, tell them they're getting arrested and their houses impounded. it started a whole mess. But long story short, a lot of people in this hate group down there that are, the people that kind of headline it are appointed by Joe Buscaino, and a lot of them have made threats, online to me. I blew them off, at first. A couple of my friends in LAPD, started telling me that, you're really messing with billions of dollars of, these guys' money. You need to put a vest on. And I thought they were joking at first, but, they said, no, like, you really should think about it. I thought about it, but the final kicker with all those piling up is that, when I had to go rescue the vet and his wife, from being mugged and raped, people in the hood were like, these guys may or may not want to shoot you. Like, you need to put a vest on if you're going to come back here. Yeah. And but I made a promise. I won't quit. I won't, give up. I won't turn my back on these people because, nobody's doing anything about tonight. And they need help. They want help. Yeah. So that's why I got to wear the vest now. And, I hope it dies out and I can take it off because it's uncomfortable and sweaty and it sucks. But, if that's what it takes, it's just the fundamentals of life, We're all human beings, brothers, sisters, whatever. Like, we need shelter, we need food, we need water. And everyone's kind of lost their way and forgot, how to be kind to each other. And instead, we just want to blow everyone up.
Holy cow, that is an extremely, extremely insane story of just... I'm just flabbergasted. Can you show us the tiny homes as well? Because we have them all the way out here. You're building them by yourself, and you also have volunteers, of course. This is just a total grassroots operation. But if you could just explain what you're building here and how much it costs to make and just all the basic necessities that you help provide people.
Yeah, absolutely. They're roughly 6 feet wide by 8 feet long and tall enough to stand in, 8.5 feet tall. It's got a steel reinforced front door, just like any house would, with a deadbolt. 2 windows, one on each side. The windows have alarms. There's a smoke detector, a little solar panel about that big on the roof, and it powers 2 light bulbs, and you can charge your phone, which is a real necessity for people to keep their phones charged. No one will let them use anything. Wow. And so they're built just like a real house. It's got studs and siding and trim. It's got carpet inside. I provide everyone with a camping toilet so they can have a bathroom to at least use, a peephole in the door, so when the assholes of the government come knocking on the door trying to tell them to move, they can, we're not home, so and they're all on wheels, so they could be mobile. And that was another big problem when they came to take the houses, well, we need to clean the streets. Like, well, they're on wheels. We'll move them for you. It's real easy. But
incredible, amazing work. What can people do to help you? What can people do to participate? Can they help you build these houses? Can they help you legally? Can they help you fighting with the state, or can they give you donations? What can people do to be a part of this movement?
Abso-fucking-lutely they can. I am planning several builds coming up here. And everybody can come and help. The thing that I need to do before that is raise funds. I've got already 40 new houses that are going on private land that have been ordered. I need to raise the funds so we can build those. Once I have those funds, we're going to have a big event, and everyone is welcome to come. I've taught as young as 4 years old up to 86 years old. People that have never touched a screwdriver or drill in their life. It's very simple and easily taught. But you can, as soon as we have those events, you can come here from wherever you're at and help us build. If you can spare even just $5, it's less than a value meal at, fast food. Everybody watching, if everyone watching, just gave $5, we'd be well on our way to making all that happen. And most definitely you can fight the man. Email the president, email the governor, the mayor. What is it? I forgot his email address all of a sudden. I had thousands of people emailing it, but just look up Mayor Garcetti or Governor Brown, or just go to the White House website. Go to the top. Raise some hell. Voice your your opinion, your concern that we should be helping people get off the streets, and or at the very least providing them, you know, somewhere to be besides the gutter. That is a health and safety hazard.
And share this video to show human beings that there are people who are making a difference individually, and we could do it all together on a grander, more bigger scale with your involvement with this project. The links to Elvis's Tiny Homes project will be in the description below. I can't thank you enough for doing amazing work.
Thank you.
And again, the links are going to be in the description below. I strongly recommend you check them out. If you're in the Los Angeles area, come out, help build these homes, and be a part of the solution instead of the problem. Thank you again so much for watching. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. We're going to have more amazing, important content coming here your way on youtube.com/WeAreChange.